right now at Brandon Theaters watching Going in Style. It's a heist movie. We've all seen them. The concept is nothing new, but I feel this was kind of somewhat original a little bit, because you got three old guys, you know, they've given everything to society, everything for their families, and then literally life grabbed them by the neck, threw them down to the ground, spat on them, kicked them when they're, you know, all that stuff. And they're kind of out there and it's like, I want what's mine. I deserve what's mine. I've done this, this, and this. It's my turn. It's my time. So you get the old guy goes in the bank and he witnesses a heist and he's like, oh my God, it was so easy how they did it. Why can't we do it? So then the movie then is progressing toward this particular old guy, Michael Caine, gets with Morgan Freeman and Alan Arkin, rob the bank, and they get together to rob the bank. It's really funny to see old people do old people stuff. I'm a young person and I give my grandma crap sometimes about different things, but the way these guys do it, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go home and sort my pills, or I'm gonna do this, or if I want a piece of pie, I'm gonna have it. And it's kind of like, it's funny that old people, like, they get it. They've lived life, you know, they're at their end, they get like a special pass. So it's really enjoyable to see these three powerhouses of old guys, be funny, be witty, to rob a bank.
Going in Style has a very simple premise that creates the problem of it potentially being very fake, forced, unbelievable. But they actually build this story up in a very gradual way, in a very believable way. Largely that is on the strength of the three actors involved. Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, and Alan Arkin are so likable. They are older gentlemen. There's certainly a lot of older gentleman jokes in the movie, but they pull off the humor just right, so it doesn't seem too over the top, too broad, too slapstick. It feels very real. Not only do they pull off the humor properly, but they get the genuine human emotion. You actually really feel for these characters. They each have their own separate stories, their own separate plights, so to speak. You really enjoy their friendship, their camaraderie, so they feel like they're not really trying to be funny, they're just being themselves, their characters being real, and the humor just comes out of that.
Even though I really enjoy Michael Caine, I really enjoy Alan Arkin and Morgan Freeman, they're great actors, I kind of looked at this week as being an off week for us. We watch a new movie every week, so we see the good and the bad. I mean, we've had some eye-rolling ones in the past, thinking of Left Behind with Nick Cage, but I kind of looked at this as being an off week. I was wrong. I stand completely corrected. This movie was fantastic. I came in kind of in a weird mood, kind of upset a little bit from stuff going on in life, and man, this movie just put me in a good place. Everyone was smiling, everyone was laughing, we were joking with other theater goers after the movie was over. It just had this really positive feeling to the movie. The humor was spot on. This movie would not have worked without the chemistry with those three actors. You believe they're friends. The story they create and the character development they spend time on in the beginning of the movie works perfectly. You get invested in these characters to the point where you really want to see them succeed. You want to see this go well. I didn't realize exactly how invested I was in these characters until it gets towards the climax of the movie, and I'm like, I am really invested in what's happening right now. Like, I really want to know what the conclusion of this is going to be. Very, very impressed. The movie was well-paced. They didn't take the low-hanging fruit. They went for good, solid jokes, believable jokes. I just think all around, this movie was fantastic.
I loved how they did it. Oh my gosh. Everything about it was the planning, the comedy of it. You've seen the previews, like the whole thing with like the grocery stores, like their test run. Even that is just laugh out loud funny. The movie, at one particular point, had a huge plot twist. Didn't even see it coming, and I can usually kind of point them out, but this one I was just like, loved it. Some tensity in there. There are some moments where you're kind of like, where are they going with this? Because you're kind of like on the edge of your seat. You look around and be like, what's going to happen? I got to know. Then there's another little twist in there that you might see coming, you might not. Honestly, it's really up to the person watching it. But the movie...
There are also some great supporting characters. There's some cameos. I don't want to spoil all the names. I was surprised, so I don't want to ruin some of those surprises. For the most part, really funny. There are a few broadly drawn characters, a few kind of cliched locations. We have like the sassy waitress and the carnival fundraiser. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know that I totally buy into this, but it's all in good fun, so it doesn't really take you out of the overall enjoyment of the story. The story actually has a few surprises up its sleeve. Surprised me. If you're hoping for a payoff, which you make it even part of the way through this movie, you definitely want a good payoff. There's like multiple payoffs in this movie, a lot of payoffs, and they're all really good, and most of them I didn't see coming. So I was really enjoying the fact that we've got these great characters just being funny and also likable. We really are invested in them achieving their goal. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it, they're going to convince you to agree with it.
I'm hard pressed to think of a comedy I've seen in the last year that I smiled as much as I did in this movie. This was extremely enjoyable. As Jeff had mentioned, there were twists that I did not see coming, and even though we told you they're twists, you're not going to see them coming. I thought it was really cool. They caught me off guard, and I enjoyed every second of them. They were well written, well presented, and it just added to the movie overall. It didn't necessarily need to be there, but I'm glad it was. It definitely had another big smile moment for me. I would definitely suggest seeing this in theaters if you can, as early as you can, so you can get a group of people, because I feel that when you're watching a movie like this with a group of people and everyone's laughing out loud and really enjoying themselves, it even makes the movie more enjoyable for you. I know that my laughter was fueled not only by the movie, but also my friends beside me laughing with me. And I think that makes the movie more of an inclusive and immersive environment. I highly suggest seeing this movie in theaters.
The problems that have the movie, a little example, like when he gets a letter in the mail, it's not sealed. I mean, yes, I can go through and nitpick little tiny things, but honestly, I don't really care about that. For me, this movie was a 10 out of 10. I had a lot of fun. If I was feeling down or kind of whatever, I would go watch this and I would feel a bit better about myself. The jokes were good. The humor is good. There's a sense of heart in this movie where it's like their reasonings for doing what they're doing are not far-fetched. They're very believable. You can believe if a person got pushed to the point of that, they're going to do it.
It starts out a little bit depressing because we sort of have the reality of people basically going to be evicted from their homes because their companies aren't paying their pensions like they should have, and the bank's going to foreclose, and no one cares about these people. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of hitting, this is a little too real, a little too depressing. But that's just a small part of the film, and the rest of it just becomes much more enjoyable. Overall, I left this film just being super happy. It was overall just a super enjoyable, fun time at the movies. So overall rating from me, despite a few false jokes, a couple of cheap ones there, overall it's a very high 8 out of 10.
So I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. Like I said earlier, I can't think of a comedy in the last year or so that I was laughing and smiling as much as I was for this one. It was really spot on. Kudos goes to Zach Braff for directing this movie. He did an excellent job. I never really thought of him as being a director, and most of the stuff he's in is usually pretty slapstick comedy. But this was really, subdued comedy. It was very realistic, and I appreciated what the movie brought, and that it didn't take those easy jokes and that would have just taken it to a stupid place.
Question for you this week. What's your favorite movie that involves the elderly people doing crazy things they normally wouldn't do? I know there's a term where I just can't think of it, but shoot that down there. What is it? I want to know. Go on ahead and like this video and favorite it. Hit that subscribe button. By doing that, you get more reviews like this, plus throwback reviews, unboxing videos, other shenanigans to do on the daily and weekly. And remember, guys, you heard it here at The Source.